It hit me like a quiet thunderclap the morning Alex leaned into my cubicle and suggested, with that polished smile of his, that I skip the IP synchronization meeting to color code the conference room snacks instead. 1 minute I was knee-deep in reviewing dual-use export language for our latest satellite navigation patent. The next I was being gently nudged toward biscotti arrangements that matched the company logo. 13 years of meticulous work at Vanguard Defense Systems poured into protecting every piece of intellectual property this place had built from scratch. Suddenly felt like it was evaporating. Alex Harper had arrived 3 months earlier, fresh from a string of flashy consulting gigs, including a crypto startup that imploded spectacularly. He carried himself with the easy confidence of someone who believed jargon and PowerPoint decks could rewrite reality. Streamline operations, modernize the talent footprint, lean into agile compliance. I watched him from my quiet corner desk on the 3rd floor, wedged between the server room and the dusty patent archives that only Defense Department auditors ever touched. I liked the solitude. It let me think, file, cross-reference, and ensure nothing slipped through cracks that could cost us contracts or freedom. Every major patent the company owned had passed through my hands at some point. I wasn't the inventor or the lead engineer. I was the thread that held the fabric together, spotting overlapping claims, rewriting paragraphs to dodge infringement risks, double-checking custodial chains during rushed lunch breaks. The founder, an old-school engineer named Tom Reynolds, had hired me when the office was just folding tables, a temperamental coffee maker, and a whiteboard scrawled with our first patent number. Back then, I did more than admin work. I asked the questions no one else did. Alex saw me differently, an outdated fixture, a human Rolodex he could phase out. He started small, removed me from the Tuesday strategy sinks, replacing me with bright-eyed Maya from product development. She was sharp but new, still mixing up continuation patents with provisionals. I forwarded her a detailed glossary without comment. She never replied. Then my name vanished from the patent lifecycle review chain, the one I had painstakingly built to feed directly into federal compliance ledgers. I didn't rage. I printed, methodically, audit logs, authorship forms, co-inventor certifications, especially those listing me as custodian of record. Being just admin had its advantages. No one noticed the infrastructure I'd quietly constructed until they tried navigating it alone. My personal file grew thick, 45 active patents, 32 tied to defense contracts, 18 bearing my formal contributions or editorial oversight, all routed through my watch. I sat back down, opened the next submission, and kept working. That calm unnerved people most, the loaded gun on safety, waiting. Alex's voice carried that buttery assurance born from privilege and blind spots. Admins belonged in support, not strategy. He declared during a reorg call, while I sat muted, reformatting compliance binders. I heard every word. I pulled my encrypted drive and backed up everything: submission confirmations, inventor signatures, traceability worksheets. Our SOPs required 10-year legacy trails. I went back 13. The next day, my calendar invite for patent sync evaporated. In its place, admin workflow consolidation. Maya whispered it was temporary. I smiled, offered her my favorite red pen, the one that had once caught a fatal clause in a drone localization patent that could have voided our export license. She accepted it like a peace offering. By week's end, I was locked out of the shared patent dashboard. Read-only only. A polite email cited streamlining legacy privileges. I stayed late, printing signed submissions with my initials, SM. For Sarah Mitchell, in the custodian field. Every core patent required dual signatures, contributor and custodian. That was me. Not because I demanded it, but because precision mattered. One misplaced decimal or confused term could invite lawsuits from giants like Lockheed or Raytheon. Alex didn't grasp that. He saw a glorified receptionist. During the Q1 investor call, his voice boomed through the hallway speaker as I refilled toner. We've excised non-essentials. We're lean, modern, ready to scale. Engineers winced. I raised a hand to silence their apologies. I wasn't the one who should worry. I began a private log, timestamps of exclusions, system lockouts, policy changes bypassing review. I knew trouble brewed when you dismantled the IP backbone without understanding its vertebrae. Alex bet the glossy East Coast private equity buyers would overlook details if the deck sparkled. He underestimated the gap between flash and substance. I was invisible to him, and therefore invaluable. I let him perform. Let him chuckle over drinks about the old guard and how compliance was mere paperwork until it wasn't. I sat in all-hands meetings taking unrequested notes, cataloging contradictions. When he asked me to serve coffee during his pre-acquisition pitch, I complied with a smile. "Thank you," he said. I added it to my file. Alex accelerated like a man chasing an invisible finish line. Within weeks of his restructure, acquisition roadmaps multiplied, consultants clogged conference rooms, and marketing drafted transition language before due diligence folders opened. A countdown clock ticked in the break room for the $220 million deal, as if closing it equaled launching a rocket. He branded it Project Streamline. I saw a blind sprint through hazards. The buyers, a private equity firm hungry for defense-adjacent tech and steady government revenue, lapped up his narrative. Young blood. Agile overhaul. Simplified pipelines. The draft deck I glimpsed on a shared printer erased my contributions entirely. 45 patents. Critical defense applications, presented as if birthed from Alex's vision alone. No mention of the woman who filed, edited, or guarded the custodial trails. I shook my head, returned to my desk. Then came the overheard remark in the executive break room. Alex held court with advisors. Nitro coffee in hand. We just need the signatures. Nobody cares who typed them. Laughter followed. They weren't entirely wrong until a clause failed, a trail broke, or ownership mismatched. Until wedding verification from the original custodian became mandatory. Back at my desk, I cross-checked every patent in the acquisition brief against internal policy. 37 demanded dual verification. My initials, SM, appeared in the upper corner of each. In compliance systems, SM meant Sarah Mitchell, custodian of record. That night, junior engineer Liam stopped me in the hallway. "Miss Mitchell, thanks for flagging that export clause on the LiDAR prototype. Lawyers missed it, saved us months." He looked uneasy, as if speaking to me risked trouble. I smiled. Keep naming conventions tight and claims tighter. I walked to the parking lot with the same steady calm. Let Alex strut in fitted suits, plastering buzzwords like tape over cracks. Let him gun the deal like a car without brakes. I'd hold the maintenance log when wheels sheared off. It started with a voicemail from Rebecca at Wilkins and Ross Legal. The buyer's review team, questions about a 2014 NDA tied to an early prototype. My name listed as custodian and witness. I returned her call promptly. I recited exact dates, times, SOP citations, notarized memos, archive entries, muscle memory from over a decade immersed in these documents. Her surprise was audible. "Wow, that's incredibly helpful." Calls trickled in. Licensing associates queried radar series dates. Compliance leads sought dual-use declarations. Unfamiliar names looped me into discussions for historical context. I answered calmly. Tone professional. They grew cautious, sensing misalignment. Then the first alert, patent chain cross-reference notice. Sarah Mitchell identified as contributor or custodian in 45 active records. Validation pending. Someone hadn't vetted the logs before waiving term sheets. That night, I reviewed backups, XML files, chain logs, transfer clauses, signature pages. My initials anchored them all, unobtrusive yet essential. Foundations go unnoticed until floors crack. By midweek, the atmosphere shifted. Colleagues lingered at my desk. Maya visited with pretextual binder questions. Legal pinged for clarifications that unraveled into deep dives on missing addendums. Alex remained oblivious, still pitching big-picture playbooks. Legacy, realignment, flattened structures. He missed the legal team's sharpening questions, lengthening calls. I watched the fuse burn slowly. No panic or glee, just aware amusement that the disposable element had proven critical. Rebecca called again. Had I handled custodial review for the 2018 drone relay patents?
Yes.
The system flagged mismatched custodian additions in transfer files. It wouldn't process without historical match. The safeguards I had quietly advocated years earlier, validating transfers only with record custodian authority, now protected the process. Lawyers read policies Alex had ignored. I overheard him in the operations room. She's just admin. Ignore the noise. She doesn't sign anything important. My pulse stayed even. I tapped off the coffee burner and left. Back at my desk, ledger pages showed my name repeatedly in custodian fields, verified and timestamped. Data spoke louder than shouting. An email hit General Counsel, urgent request for updated contributor and custodian lists for ownership verification. Maya forwarded the draft she compiled. Her face revealed everything. I guided her entry by entry. 45 times. My name surfaced. Persistent. Legally binding. I was an inventor. But in regulated IP, the custodian held the final key. You couldn't transfer without the full trail. The system enforced it, indifferent to Alex's opinions. A surprise calendar invite arrived. IP transfer readiness sync. Attendees, including me, marked optional. Corporate code for sidelining unless disaster struck. I attended anyway, notebook in hand, sitting quietly in back. Evelyn Cross, the buyer's lead IP attorney, commanded the room with quiet authority, gray suit, precise movements. Alex launched into his slide deck, streamlined chains, legacy roles cleaned, everything routed through the CTO. Dead weight removed. I noted it verbatim. Evelyn paged through contributor lists silently, brow furrowing at recurring entries. Alex downplayed, just form filing and formatting. Centralized now. She pressed, custodian on these, Davis. Wait. Mitchell, who authorized the handoff. Alex claimed consolidation. Legal approval. Evelyn quoted SOP 9.7 subsection B. Custodian of record must execute release unless formally reassigned in writing. Alex faltered. She's just admin. Evelyn's smile was surgical. She didn't ignore. I closed my notebook and left. I'd already spoken in ink. Momentum halted the next morning. Alex stormed in. Swagger fractured. All hands canceled. Snack cart removed untouched. Buyer's team red-flagged the deal. Email from Wilkins and Ross. Paused pending IP chain clarification. Custodial rights. Protocol adherence. Multiple patents listed me as originator, contributor, or custodian. Confirmed transfer authority. Alex paced the glass conference room, flailing at legal, product, compliance.
No answers.
The truth was simple. Policies required my approval. Outside. The office quieted. Headphones lowered. Music stopped. Maya kept interactions brief. Emergency IP custody sync invite arrived. Mandatory.
Including me.
I arrived on time. Alex avoided eye contact. Evelyn greeted professionally. Discrepancy in ownership records central to valuation. 45 records named me custodian, several co-author. Formal reassignment per SOP?
No.
Alex interjected about old docs. Centralized model. Evelyn demanded signed transfer agreement. None existed. Company counsel confirmed, no legal basis without my approval. SOP drafted 8 years ago, I helped shape it. You're the only authorized person to release these patents, Evelyn told me. Alex's voice cracked. She's admin. Doesn't even approve budgets. Evelyn countered flatly. This was custodial transfer of sensitive federal IP, requiring named officer of record. I sat composed. Hands folded. Gravity of their oversight pressed down. Alex finally looked at me. You knew this. I tilted my head. I knew the policy. You should have too. Silence thickened. Evelyn closed her folder. Until I signed. Patents non-transferable, locking 61% of declared IP value. Alex paled. Additional patents required my personal certification. Depends, I replied, opening my folder. They summoned me like emergency equipment. Clarifying session, email, sanitized language, masking desperation. Conference room reeked of tension. Alex flanked by counsel. Red-faced compliance, officer avoiding my gaze. Evelyn tapping pen metronomically. I placed my matte black folder down. Sat calmly. Alex leaned in. Historical gaps. Scrambled timestamps. Clerical. No big deal. I opened the folder. My records. Original logs. Timestamps. Routing trails. Export clearances. Co-author certifications per SOP sections. Evelyn examined pages deliberately. Shielding from Alex. I slid the final sheet. His name absent everywhere. Alex suggested retroactive updates. Evelyn warned. Falsification of chain of title. Tainting IP. Repricing or walking. Silence thickened. You really kept all this? Alex asked.
Stunned.
I met his eyes. You stripped me out, erased my calendar, revoked access, called me a file clerk to buyers. I kept them because it's my job. Unlike yours. Apparently. Evelyn proposed independent retained role under separate contract. Alex looked gutted. I considered it. We'll follow up. As I left, Alex offered weak alliance. I looked down. No. Alex. We're not. I took my folder and exited. The contract offer arrived sealed. No digital trail. Revised retention agreement weighed like gold. Language emphasized indispensable authority. Non-substitutable continuity. Federal integrity. They couldn't proceed without my yes. Compensation nearly doubled. Plus board-level access clause. I didn't sign immediately. Added a handwritten sentence. Title change to Director of IP Custodianship with full authority over legacy and future filings. Initialed. Returned personally to Evelyn.
No ceremony.
That afternoon, I passed Alex pacing outside the founder's office. Through glass. Take some time off. Reevaluate post-transition. Surgical. Emotionless. New invite awaited. Strategic continuity onboarding. Attendees including me as key personnel. Official letter listed me as Director of IP Custodianship, critical to post-acquisition continuity. I printed it. Slid copy to Maya. You're on the deal team now? She asked. No, I said. I am the deal team. She laughed nervously. I wasn't joking. Buyer's CTO called for transition prep. I offered updated SOPs. He asked about Alex.
No.
Power's flip brought strange silence, no applause. Just calendars checked against mine. Inbox shifting from ignored to essential. I updated org chart. Sent to HR. Walked to the former conference room where Alex once mocked non-essentials. Noted the date in my notebook.
No speeches.
Just pen, and my name where it belonged. Final due diligence call. Ceremonial. 15 participants. They circled formalities. Updated schedules. Contingencies. Escrow. Evelyn sat stone-faced. Lead attorney cleared throat. Outstanding item. 45 patents listed me as co-author or custodian. Alex claimed addressed. Attorney cut him off. Needed my signature now. Without it, patents non-transferable, including radar platforms, comm relays, drone telemetry, classified pathways. You're trying to sell a company she practically owns. Reckoning silence. Alex swallowed hard. Founder silent remotely. I pulled my everyday blue rollerball pen, used for every filing. Every line held. Clicked it. Held over page. My signature doesn't come free anymore. This time, I bill for it. Deal closed 2 hours later. Alex's office stood empty.
Cleared.
Single-framed quote remained. Vision is worth more than memory. I smiled. He had vision. I had receipts. At home, wine in hand, I updated my title in the SOP footer I once drafted silently. Director of IP Custodianship. Authorized signatory. They tried selling without me. Now nothing moved unless I approved. In the weeks that followed, the office adjusted to new realities. Colleagues approached with genuine respect. No longer breezing past. Maya sought real guidance. Liam shared prototype successes directly. The founder nodded acknowledgement during brief encounters, quiet validation of foundations he once recognized. I didn't gloat or redecorate. Parking spot unchanged. Desk remained cornered. Functional. But my voice carried weight in rooms that once excluded me. Board invites arrived unprompted. Due diligence calls referenced my input first. Federal auditors praised continuity during reviews. Unaware of the near miss. Alex's departure was clean severance. Non-disclosure. No public drama. Rumors swirled briefly about restructuring. I focus forward. 3 new patents filed under my oversight featured tighter clauses, clearer chains, lessons etched deeper. Yet evenings brought reflection. Over wine. Staring at city lights from my apartment window, I pondered the fragility of systems built on trust. How easy to dismiss the quiet worker until the structure sways. How hubris blinds the ambitious to the threads holding everything. The deal's survival hinged not on flash but precision. Documentation. Unseen stewardship. Was it revenge?
No.
Justice? Perhaps. More accurately, inevitability. Policies existed for reasons, safeguards against shortcuts. My role enforced them, because someone had to. In America's corporate trenches, especially defense tech, where national security intertwined with profits, one overlooked signature could unravel millions or expose vulnerabilities. The question lingered. How many Sarah Mitchells sat unnoticed in corners today? Holding keys while hotshots chase spotlights? How often did we undervalue the backbone until crisis forced recognition? I had no answers. Only receipts proving quiet competence outlasted bravado. The company moved forward stronger. Transitions smoother under revised protocols. Buyers expressed private appreciation for averted complications. My new title opened doors. But I carried the same calm, the loaded gun now off safety, yet holstered. Some nights, I replayed Alex's final hallway glance, shock mixed with dawning respect. Or perhaps just defeat. It didn't matter. The work continued. Patents protected. Chains intact. And in the end, that was the only victory worth claiming. The system endured because the invisible had refused to vanish.